Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth, this is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, and today is January the 8th, 2023, and this is Flosstube number 35. So yeah, it's been about 4 weeks since my last Flosstube update. However, my last video was not 4 weeks ago. I do have a whip parade up and a finish parade posted, and yeah, so the whip parade video has gotten tons of love, so I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of new subscribers because of the whip parade video, so welcome to everybody who's new here. And yeah, so I'm also creeping up really close to 2,000 subscribers, which is kind of wild. So yeah, it's been a very grateful month around here. But yeah, so we had Christmas, we had New Year's, I had my birthday yesterday, so I'm kind of all celebrated out for now. Let's see, my family did come down, or I guess came up to Ohio from Mississippi to visit, and that was a lot of fun. However, it was not a lot of fun for them to drive up here because that weekend of Christmas was when like everybody over around the country was having extreme winter weather, and here in Ohio it was we got lots of snow and the temperatures were in the negatives, and then the high was still below I guess in the single digits, and then the wind was a lot, so it was like super windy, and at least where we live, the wind kind of blew all the snow up against our patio, so it kind of collected all in one spot, so that was kind of crazy. But yeah, so my parents drove up here through all that. I think it started like Thursday night, and they started driving on Friday, and then they got here on Saturday, so they definitely drove over some ice up through like Kentucky and whatnot. So, but they made it here all safe. And so it was my mom, dad, and my sister, and staying with Bobby and I here at our little 2-bedroom home. And yeah, we had a great time. They came in on Christmas Eve. We did presents Christmas Day, and kind of just hung around home. The roads were still really kind of not great for driving, but Monday we did venture out, and my sister and I went ice skating, and then on Tuesday we went to the Air Force Museum, which is kind of a big deal around here, and yeah, so, and then I had to work from home. I just started a new job, so I only had enough PTO built up to take one day off, so I took Tuesday off because I already had Monday off that they gave to me anyway. And yeah, so I worked from home on Wednesdays since they were still here, and then Thursday they left. So yeah, and then so that was kind of my Christmas experience. And then let's see, then New Year's would have been next. So I did participate in New Year's Eve 12 by 12, which is hosted by Kia of Kia Bee Quilting and Pam from Just Keep Stitching. So I'll talk about that later when I show my projects. And let's see, then I had my birthday yesterday, and I went to Keepsakes for my birthday, so I have a lot of haul from Keepsakes to show. And yeah, so I've got, I think, 7 projects to show you, which is quite a lot. I did have a little bit more time to myself, so I did take a finish from 2021, and I fully finished it, so stay tuned for that. And then I have 2 finishes, and I have a new start, and then the rest are just active whips. So yeah, that was kind of like a long-winded intro update situation, but I think I might have checked all the boxes for what I wrote down for my notes. Oh yes, okay, and the one more thing that I wanted to mention before we get into the video is I do have a Caterpillar cross stitch segment to show you. They do have a new stitch along starting at the end of January, and so they sent me a kit, and I'm gonna do like a little mini unboxing during like the haul Happy Mail portion of the video. So yeah, and I think that might be it. So I think we can go ahead and start talking about the stitching. I really don't know how long it's going to take me to talk about some of this stuff, so I'm trying to kind of keep it moving. But I'm going to put my water down and get the projects ready. So one of the things that was really fun when my parents were here, my sister, was the first night they were here, I was like, okay, who wants to look at my cross stitch? And my dad, I'm pretty sure is the only one who actually watches my videos, but he's like, he likes to watch them in order, and he's very behind, so he hasn't watched any of the newer videos, but he is very familiar with some of my projects, and so I like brought my little my hanger of finishes out, and I was like showing them to my dad, and he was like, oh my gosh, it's like meeting a celebrity, which I thought was so cute. But yeah. And then my mom was like, do we have to look at all of them? And I was like, no, like, you don't have to. It's fine. So, but yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into what I worked on in the past month. Okay, so the first thing that I worked on was the Gingerbread House Snow Globe, which is a ornament kit from Mill Hill, and this is what it looks like. So I did not write down any start or finish dates for this. I can put it on the screen though. It was probably about 10 days or so, I think, of stitching, but yeah. So the total time stitched though is 13 hours. I didn't write that down, but I know it because I had it written down in my finish parade. But yeah, so I really love this. It turned out great. I think doing these beaded kits is always kind of interesting, because when you start stitching it, it kind of looks weird because all the places where there are beads, you don't actually stitch anything until you do the beads, and so it really came together at the end, and I just think it looks awesome. So in the pattern, it did call for using some of the extra petite seed beads as a hanger, so I did that. And then I just cut out I cut out a square of this blue glittery paper. I glued my ornament on, and then I cut around it so that it would, you know, be the right shape. So, because the last time I did one of these ornaments, I did felt, and I tried to cut the felt in the shape of the ornament and then glue it together, and it just didn't line up right. So anyway, I tried the paper this time, and it just was a lot easier for me. The only downside, I think, is it is like a little bit warped, which you can't really tell, but that's probably the only downside. You can kind of see there. But yeah, I think it turned out great. It looked fantastic on the tree, and I have another one of these to do for next year, so I'm kind of excited to do that. But yep. All right. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put all my stuff, because I have like a whole pile of stuff over here, but then I don't have anything really over here to hold it, so yeah, anyway, we're just making it up as we go. All right, next thing that I worked on was Possum Song by Mama Witch Cross Stitch, and this is actually a finish, and if you saw my finish parade, then you've already seen this, but this is what it looks like. I'm gonna get a bag behind it so you can kind of see it a little better. There we go. So yeah, this is a Possum Song by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. I stitched this on 16 count black Aida with all the called for DMC. Let's see, it took me, well, again, I didn't write it down, but it was in my finish parade video. Okay, the total time it took for me to stitch this was 44 hours and 36 minutes. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I started it like August, I think, of 2021, and then finished it this year. So I think I finished it like the 28th of December. Oh, I guess not this year. I finished it last year. So yeah, anyway, I did put my initials right there. And then it does say moonshine on that, on this bottle of moonshine. And yeah, so, and then the strings on his banjo, obviously is like supposed to be backstitch, but basically I couldn't find a good place to, like, on the chart it's just a very straight line and there's no like points along certain stitches that make sense. I don't know if that makes sense. To me it makes sense. But anyway, I basically just stitched one long strand from like the top of the banjo down to where the first stop point is, like around his thumb. And so it was very loose, obviously, because it was like one long stitch. So then I just tacked it down in a couple places so that it looked more like a string rather than just having a lot of breaks in it. And I believe that method is called couching. But yeah, I never actually looked up a true couching tutorial, so I could be wrong. I just kind of looked up some embroidery images online. But yeah, so. And my plan for this is to finish it in a circular frame. This is definitely not a circle, it's more of an oval. I'm pretty sure it's about 10 inches wide and 9 inches tall. So I'm probably just gonna get like maybe an 11 or 12 inch circle, and then it'll just have some extra space on the top and bottom, but yeah. So hopefully I can get that framed before fall of this year, and then I can display it. Okay, so when I finished Possum Song, I had this project all ready to be started, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start it because it's all ready to go. Just gotta put those first stitches in. And so this is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. Hopefully I can show this part. I kind of copied Helen D, and I put my pattern in this page protector because it is a little flimsy of a chart. But anyway, there is the Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. I am stitching this on the called for fabric in 36 count. The called for is actually 40 count, but it's the same like color. Whoop, don't fall. Okay, so let's see. So this is what I have started. I just got his foot started down there. I think I only worked on this for like 34 minutes, but yeah, so have a little bit of a foot there. This is my new frosted pumpkin needle minder. But this linen is, like I said, 36 count, and the color is called Mirage, and it is a Picture This Plus linen. I had purchased this from the Cross Stitch Peddler in Decatur, Alabama, for my birthday last year. So, and I just never got around to starting it. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, just a tiny little start down there. The only changes that I am making to this pattern is 2 floss colors. So basically it's mostly DMC, and then there's like 2 overdyes. So the 2 overdyes are Gentle Art, Burnt Orange, and Chalk. Well, instead of chalk, I'm just using B5200. And then for Burnt Orange, because when I bought the fabric, Cross Stitch Peddler did not have those 2 colors, so I just figured I'd get it later. But then I was like, oh, I should use some of my Color and Cotton floss of the month. So I'm using Pumpkin Pie. And yeah, so I haven't gotten to this yet, obviously, because I've just done his foot. But yeah, this is kind of my replacement for Burnt Orange. So, but these are all the colors together. And I am using the my all-time favorite floss drop, the Adam Hart Cross Stitch like floss bobbin. Is seriously like game changer. So anyway, that's my only little alteration, I guess, for this chart. This one is on my Whipco board this year. Just I think 2 or 3 instances of stitching on it for like 5 hours. So hopefully I can. This is definitely small enough where it's reasonable for me to have this finished by the end of the year. So hopefully I can make that happen, because my main goal for 2023 is to reduce my overall whip count. So yeah, anyway, if you want to hear all about my whip plans, you should go watch my whip parade video if you haven't already. So, all right, so that was the project number 3, which is my new start. The next 3 that I'm going to show you are just whips that are still going on. Okay, so the next one is actually the piece that I worked on for New Year's Eve 12 by 12. So I guess a little preface. New Year's Eve 12 by 12, like I said before, is a creation of Kia from Kia Bee Quilting and Pam from Just Keep Stitching. And the whole concept is that you would start a new project every hour on the hour from noon until midnight. So then you're starting 12 projects as like a way to count down to the new year. Well, that sounds all fine and dandy, but I am not a person who wants to start 12 projects. Like I don't even have 12 whips right now in total, so starting 12 things on one day is just like too much for me. So this year, or I guess to ring in 2023, Pam decided that instead of starting 12 new things, she was going to work on 12 whips. So then there kind of became a whole like team new start, team whips, and then a team half and half kind of slipped in there. And I just decided to be team monogamous. So I picked my largest project, which is Sweetheart Campfire. It's going to look like this. And I tried to stitch on this for 12 hours. Realistically, I actually only stitched for 7.5 hours, but that is still quite a feat. So I'm going to show you a picture here of what it looked like before I started 12 by 12. And then this is what my project looks like now. So I definitely got a ton of stitches in. I think I got probably around 900 or so stitches in. So these two like diagonals right here is what I filled in on New Year's Eve. And yeah, so I think this was very successful. This project will be around for a while, so I'm sure it'll be probably still be unfinished for the next 2 or 3 New Years. So this will probably just be my dedicated New Year's Eve project. Obviously, if I'm going to finish it anytime soon, then I have to work on it when it's not New Year's Eve. But anyway, I was very happy with the result of doing that. And yeah, so I actually have a few, I'll pop up kind of a slideshow of sorts. I posted to my story all day, or I guess from noon until midnight that day, kind of statusing where I had gotten to at each point, and definitely towards like the 10 o'clock-ish hour, my back was really starting to hurt because I don't have a proper like chair for this desk, which is where I was stitching. It's just a dining room chair that I brought in, and yeah, so my back was hurting. I definitely was hunched over. It was not good. I had to take a break and just lay on the couch and not do anything for a minute. So that's kind of that, between that and eating and going to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, I definitely did not get 12 hours of stitching in. But 7.5 is nothing to sneeze at either. So I'm pretty proud of myself, and I would definitely do it again. So I do think to make it better on myself, I might like set timers and like stitch for 45 minutes and take a mandatory 15-minute break, stitch for 45 minutes, 15-minute break, and do it a little more scheduled like that so I don't kind of just burn out easily. But yeah, it was a great time. I'm very proud with the amount of progress I made. I think let's see, yeah, 7.5 hours, I already said that. But I do have this on my Whip Go board like 5 times to stitch on it for 8 hours each. So I should at least get 40 hours of progress on this year, which is, I think, what I put in on it last year. So, yep. But that's what it's looking like. And then, let's see. So the next project is Sweetest Pie. And this one, my goal is to stitch 1 pie a month. This is what it's going to look like. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looked like last time I showed it to you. And then this is what mine looks like now. So I managed to get the candy cane pie, or no, I did the candy cane pie last time. The one I just finished is this, blueberry pie right here. There he is. So yeah, I stitched the blueberry pie for January. And then the next and final pie will be a pecan pie, which goes in this area. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far. Let me move my needle minder. She's kind of killing the vibe. Okay, so here is what Sweet as Pie looks like. This is just so stinking cute. Love it so much. Like I said, the last pie is where Rainbow Fish is, and it's going to be a pecan pie. And then there's going to be another mixer, and like, I think there's a bowl in the center, like right there. And then some hearts, and then I finish out the border. So, I think, so this pie plus the border on the side right here took me about 10 hours. So, I may not fully finish this piece in February, but the main goal is to get it finished before the birthday of this, when I started it. So I started it on March 14th, 2022. So I just want to make sure that I finish it before March 14th of 2023. But yep. And let's see. Oh yeah, the fabric for this one is, I'm stitching everything as called for. I think this is called Sand by Picture This Plus, and it's a 28 count linen. And the only changes that I did make were like the oven mitt rolling pin scale at the top and the mixer on the bottom were all supposed to have faces, and I just did not stitch the faces because I thought the faces looked too big for the objects they were on compared to the pies. So, but yeah. All right, that might be it for that one. And this one's not on my Whip Go board simply because I already have like a scheduled goal for this one, so no need to be redundant. All right, my last and final whip is Alice in Wonderland by Satsuma Street. I did not write down how much time I spent on it, but I believe it was like maybe an hour and a half. I put some work on this Friday. So this is actually a Whip Go call for me. But before I get ahead of myself, this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what it looked like last time I showed it to you. And mine is still in the Q-snap, so you're not going to be able to see all of it, but this is what I got in on Friday. This was, like I said, about an hour and a half of stitching. So the call for Whip Go this month is Queen of Hearts block. So the goal is to finish this whole block, and not including the border because the border is a separate Whip Go call for me. So, but yeah, I started all her faces stitched. She just doesn't have any back stitch yet, and then the crown I think is missing like one color, and then obviously I got to finish out like her dress and stuff. But yeah, I really like this block. Honestly I think the hardest part of this project is basically over because that tea party block has a lot of confetti because there's just a lot of stuff going on in that scene. But these are a lot easier because there's bigger blocks of color and not as many color changes. So, but yep, this is the Queen of Hearts block. I believe this fabric is 28 count linen in, it's a Zweigart. I think it's called Ice Blue. It's the called for this pattern. And then I'm stitching it with all the called for DMCs. So, yep. And my other Whip Go call, which I have not started working on yet, is to work on Halloween Quaker for 5 hours. So the next update that I have, hopefully I will either have that in progress or done. So, and I am also excited to be working on this project because it's in this adorable bag that I made. And so I'm just happy to be able to use this bag and get to see it. Okay, so that is my last project that I worked on. The next section of this video is going to be haul and happy mail. So yeah, let me kind of like regroup all my stuff laying around here and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm actually going to do the happy mail first. Oh, just kidding. I have my fully finished object that I forgot about until just now. So I'm going to show that to you first, and then we're going to do happy mail, and then we're going to do haul. So yeah. Okay, so like I said, had a little bit of time to myself during the holiday break, and I decided to fully finish one of my 2021 finishes, and that is Made to Create by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So this was definitely really challenging to frame or finish, because since it does have such a very straight border, it was pretty tricky to get straight. And you can kind of see it is a little wobbly looking at the top and the bottom, but honestly, I did my best and I am accepting this for what it is. So yeah, but anyway, I think what's really neat though about this frame is that it's not actually a frame, it's actually like a tray. So first off, this is something that like I said, I stitched in 2021. I think I started it in January and like finished it that summer. And it's just been sitting around until now, where I have put it in this little frame situation. So basically, this is kind of part of haul, but I'm just gonna talk about it now. I found this at Target. So before I actually like finished my piece on mat board and glued it in here, it looked something like this. So obviously this is a circle and it's pink, but it's the same concept. So yeah, it's just like this little tray, I think is what it's supposed to be. But yeah, I basically just like measured the inside and cut a piece of mat board and then like glued some batting to it and then kind of like finished my piece onto that, which was kind of challenging because at first I was trying to pin it, which it was working. The mat board was a little thin, but it was working. But then after I pinned, I realized it was crooked. And then I was like, oh, this is so annoying. So what I ended up doing was using the, what are they called? Those like sewing clips? They're not in here. I forget what they're called. They're like these things. These things. I used some of these things, these little quilting clips, to kind of like position the fabric onto the board. So that I could kind of like easily adjust the like straightness of it all. And so I basically clipped it all around the top. And I did have to be careful to work quickly so that the pressure from the clip wasn't gonna like leave a weird indent on the fabric. But I think I was successful. And then once I put those clips on, I just glued the fabric to the back of the board and then kind of waited until it was dry enough to take the clips off. And then I used Aleene's tacky glue to glue the fabric to the mat board, but then I used hot glue to glue this whole thing onto like the wood part of the board, if that makes any sense. But regardless, I'm glad that it's fully finished now. It's actually been like, I've kept it propped up on top of, it doesn't look very good, but I've had it propped up on top of this cork board. Like that. So that's kind of where it's been living for now. Ideally, I would use command strips to attach it to the wall or get like a frame stand to set it on, but this is just what's happening for now. I'm actually thinking about moving these cork boards somewhere else and putting my stitching on the wall behind me, since I do film here, and it would make a good backdrop, but that is not a priority right now. So I do have another one of these. These were like $5 each in the Target dollar spot section, but I actually did measure Possum Song to see if it would fit in this one, and it would be a tight fit, so probably not going to use this for that. But any other circular thing that I stitch one day that has a diameter of less than 10 inches would work for this. So anyway. Alright, so on to Happy Mail. My sweet friend Caitlin was very kind and sent me a Christmas gift, and so I wanted to share that with you today. She wrote me this really cute note on this adorable little Christmas card. Love that. And so let me just show you what she gave me. Oh, well, hold on. If you can't tell already, it does have a zipper. So she sent me a project bag. So look how freaking cute this is. It's Rugrats. She said that in her note that she had found this fabric like at an antique shop or something, and then she had one of her friends turn it into a bag. And then, so it's a vinyl front and it's got this coordinating yellow. And then she also had this like tiny little notions pouch made that has the same as the inside fabric. And what was so thoughtful about this is that Caitlin had remembered from my common threaded stitcher, like the challenge, the prompt where you're supposed to post a picture from you in the 90s. I had posted a picture of me as like, I don't know how old I was, probably like 4. And I'm like talking, I have a phone, like a giant brick phone. I have a flower catalog and a Tommy Pickles doll. And so she remembered that I was a little rugrat. And yeah, anyway, this is very thoughtful. Thank you so much, Caitlin. So I'm excited to finally put a project in this. And I've actually never had a matching notions pouch, so I'm excited to keep my scissors in here so my scissors don't like poke the rest of my project. But yeah, so this is a sweet gift from my friend Caitlin. And if you watch Just Keep Stitching, this is the same Caitlin from Nashville that they talk about sometimes. So anyway, thank you, Caitlin. Okay, so the next part is like kind of happy mail, kind of haul. This is the Caterpillar cross stitch, the new stitch along. This starts, I think, January the 26th of this year, and it is a 6-part stitch along, and I think 1 part gets released each month. But yeah, so I got this in the mail a couple days ago, kind of just in time to film this video. And yeah, so I haven't actually opened it all the way, but because I kind of wanted to do this on camera simply because they have some new packaging, which I think is super cute. So, you know, they sent this cute little woohoo card thanking for the purchase, which obviously I didn't purchase this because they sent it to me to share with you guys so that I could stitch the stitch along with you guys. But anyway, so this is their new packaging for their kits. I just think this is so cute. It's a fully paper envelope, which is nice for recycling. And yeah, so it's actually got a little sticker on the back with like all the kit information, like what's in the kit, how big the finished size of the pattern is going to be, and all that sort of stuff. So let me cut this open real quick and then I will show you what's inside. How cute is this? When you open the flap, it says, "It's time to get stitching. Pop the kettle on and get comfy." It's adorable. Okay, so let's see. This stitch along, I don't think I said yet, is called British Isles. And it is like a Great Britain themed stitch along where it's gonna have lots of different, I guess, iconic British things on there. So, oh my gosh, these floss colors are so pretty. So I took it out and it looked just like this, all nicely laid out. They have this beautiful little card telling you like how to stitch, kind of how to prep your project. Then they have a little infographic here on how to make cross stitches. This is a great little info card for people who haven't stitched before. Make sure you're sitting comfortably with good lighting. Try to keep your stitches going in the same direction, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And then, like I said, these are the floss colors. And then this is the fabric. I chose the 16 count Aida, and this is like, it looks very washed out on camera right now, but it is like a very light blue. And this is kind of a good idea of how big the project is going to be. So that looks like a really nice size. I think the stitch count should be listed on the back here. Let's see. Oh, it says how big it'll be. Oh, here it is. 141 by 171 is how big this chart is going to be. But yeah, so I think these colors are going to look great on this fabric. I really like this pink right here. So yeah. So there's the floss and the fabric. And then the next part is this adorable little needle minder that matches the project. So this is a pouch that I believe is available to add on to your purchase if you so wish. And then this is the needle minder. It's a little London bus. So we can see what this one looks like. Because I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen the actual needle minder yet. Oh, that is so cute. So glossy and shiny. That is such a good needle minder. And they use really strong magnets on their needle minders, so that needle isn't going anywhere. But yeah, that is so cute. Oh, it's adorable. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so cute. I can't wait to see what the first part looks like. So, like I said, this is the Caterpillar cross stitch along for I guess the beginning of the year, and it is called British Isles. You can purchase the kit on their website, and I believe you can use my code, I think it's Frizzy10 please. That'll be linked down in the description box, as well as a link to purchase this kit. So, okay, so the next little segment here is going to be my haul, which might be a little bit long because I did find quite a lot of things at Keepsakes. But before I get into the Keepsakes, I did want to show my Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Fabric of the Month. This is 36 count linen, and this color for December is called Skyfall, which I thought was so pretty. I'm actually going to take it out because it has some beautiful modeling on it that I wanted to show off. But yeah, so I get a fat quarter, and just like look how it looks so much like a galaxy or something. It is just so pretty. And I love how like each side of this fabric is like completely different from the other side, because with 36 count you really can get away with only using half of this for a decent sized project. So it makes it like you have two different fabrics to choose from basically, because like this side is like very like blue and green, and then this side is like a lot more of purple and blue. So yeah, so pretty. Whenever I get these things, I never know what's gonna go on them, but they're always just so pretty, and it's kind of exciting to kind of imagine what you could put on them, or when you find a project that you really want to do and you're like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect. So, because I definitely would never buy, like I would never pick out this color, but now that I have this, I'm super excited about it. So anyway, that is Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. I do want to get into either another, because I've been in this one for I think a year now. I do want to kind of either, depending on how much I'm willing to spend, either stay in this club and add a neutral club, or switch from this one to a neutral club. So if you have any, obviously Color and Cotton is like my dream, but they are like opening a new shop, and I'm pretty sure their list is probably not going to open for new Fabric Club subscribers anytime soon. So anyway, if you have any neutral Fabric Club recommendations, I would highly appreciate your recommendations. Okay, so let's get into what I got at Keepsakes. So I got my my gingham green bag, and I did get a decent amount of items. So let's see. I'm gonna, I guess, just pull the whole thing out, and then so I don't have to have the crinklies, and then we'll just start from the top and work our way down. Okay, so first things first, I did get a new 8x8 Q-snap. I only have one of these, and I needed another one because there are many times where I'm working on more than one project in a month, and I really just don't feel like moving the Q-snap, like taking a project off and then having to put it back on later just because I needed the Q-snap for a different project. So anyway, I'm glad to finally have another one of these. Also, it's going to be interesting when I use this because the Q-snap I have, I've been using for probably 2 years now, and I'm sure the clamps are really stretched out, and so it'll be interesting to use a brand new Q-snap because it'll be a lot tighter because it's brand new. Okay, next thing, I'm going to go through like the notions first and then show you the rest of it. But I got some of these super snips. They're like the teeny tiny little scissors. I see these all the time when I'm in there, and they had a ton of the pink ones, and I was like, it's time. So I got some of those, and then I also got a couple different needle brands. So I pretty much always have used the DMC needles. I did have some Bowen needles that came with my Frosted Pumpkin Cozy Cafe kit. So I've used the Bowen needles, but I decided to get, these are both size 26 because that's kind of my favorite. But I got some John James and Peacemaker. So we will see how I like these, and maybe we'll find out if I have a new favorite needle. So because like I said, I just use the DMC ones because every time I go to like Joann's or something to get DMC, I just grab the DMC needles. So, but I know there's like a lot better options out there, so. All right, and then the last little notion thing that I got was some more of these like silicone like magnet fabric gatherer things. I think these are actually made to like wrap around your cords, but they are great at holding back they're great at holding back the fabric to like wrap it around your Q-snap or something like that. So yeah, I had 4 of these, but I'm using all 4 of them on Sweetheart Campfire, so I wanted a couple extra to just be able to use for other projects. Okay, and here comes I have some flosses, some charts, and some fabric. So the first 2 things that I want to show are these flosses from Cottage Garden Threads. I did not buy these with any intent other than the fact that they're really pretty. So this pink one is called Ruby, and this really pretty like purple navy one is called Peacock. What really got me on this one was this little bit right here. So I just thought that was really pretty. And pink is my favorite color, and this is just like so vibrant. It's so pretty. So who knows what I'll get to use these for. But I also just really wanted some of these Cottage Garden Threads because of how they're packaged. I just think they're so cute. And like they have all these adorable little graphics on the back on like how to use the floss and how to care for it and stuff. So yeah, I just think that's really cute. And I'm pretty sure these are already like pre-cut. So all you have to do is like unwind this little twisty bit, and then you should be able to like pull the floss off. So we will see whenever I start to use these how that works out. Okay, so the next thing I got was this chart from the trilogy called Halloween Tree Spooky. I just thought this was adorable. It's only like 49 by 57. So it would make an adorable little small, but yeah. So I love that. It comes with the 3 buttons that are on the chart. And yeah, so this is super cute. I always see those trilogy patterns and think that they're Bent Creek. So anyway, but I'm excited to have that one because it's adorable. And then I got this one because I saw the model and it was just so tiny and adorable. This is called A Harmony in Autumn by Hands On Design. And this is like the little pin cushion, and then there's also a chart in there for the little scissor fob. But it was this pin cushion that really kind of stood out to me. I just thought that little house on the hill was so stinking cute. And I don't even know what count the model was stitched on, but it was like a tiny little thing, and it was adorable. So, and I went ahead and got the flosses to go with this. So there's kind of a combination of Gentle Art and Weeks. So this is kind of a collection of the flosses for this chart, which are so pretty and autumnal. The only changes here are these 2 colors right here. When I was pulling the flosses for this chart, there were 2 that they were out of: Weeks Dye Works Oscar and Gentle Art Country Redwood. So Susan is really good at making floss and fabric substitutions, so I had Susan pull me some substitutes, and so she picked Weeks Dye Works Lily Pad and Classic Colorworks Manor Red. So I think these will all look really great together. But yeah. And then let's see. The last 3 things that I got were some neutral fabrics. So like I said earlier, I have quite a good colorful fabric collection now, but I really needed some neutral fabrics. So I kind of just picked 3 of my favorites from the like never-ending fabric bins, Keepsakes. So this first one is a 32 count Winter Wovens by Seraphim, and I got fat quarters of all of these. So this is what that, and I'll show you what they look like all next to each other, because they're probably all going to look the same individually, but yeah, really like that one. And then the second one that I got is a 36 count Sumptuous from Fortnite Fabrics. And this one was interesting because there was like 2 different yards in the box and they looked completely different from each other, even though they were like the same color and same count. So there's that one. And then the last one that I got was 36 count R&R Barb's Blend, which I know is super popular. And they actually had a lot of this there, so. But yeah, so this one's definitely like more of a grayish, a gray beige. But yeah, so let me just see if I can kind of hold these together so you can kind of see the differences between them, because I think that's always fun. So yeah, these are the 3 neutrals that I got. So we have Barb's Blend, Sumptuous, and Winter Wovens. So these are the 3 neutral fabrics that I got. I'm really excited. I have no idea what exactly is gonna go on them yet. But yeah. Alright, so I think that is all. I gotta find my notes so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is all of my haul and Happy Mail. I do not have a book segment today. I have been reading, not nearly as much, I feel, but yeah, the audiobooks are coming in hot. So I will probably have some books to talk to you about next Flosstube update, which should be 2 weeks from now. But since I don't have books to talk about, I think it would be really fun if you would let me know what book you are looking forward to reading this year, and or maybe a recommendation that a book you would like to see me read. So yeah, and yeah, that's about it. So I guess my plans for the next 2 weeks are to finish my Whip Go goals, which are the Queen of Hearts block on Alice in Wonderland and doing 5 hours on Halloween Quaker. But yeah, that's kind of my main goals for January. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I did take my garden party to Keepsakes to be finished into a pillow, so we will see how that turns out. I'm super excited to see what they come up with, because I definitely did not feel prepared to make a hexagon-shaped pillow. But yeah, so maybe that'll be coming up, maybe not next video, but maybe the one after that. So, but yeah, and that might be it. So yeah, just I guess let me know what book you're gonna plan to read this year, or a book that you recommend that I read. And so another thing I wanted to mention is I'm planning on filming a video on how to use Pattern Keeper on your computer. So if that's something that you're interested in, you know, like this video or leave a comment down below. But hopefully that's kind of my intent for next week. So yeah, I can show you the emulator that I use and how to download it and all that good stuff. So that's kind of the plan for next week. And then, like I said, normal Flosstube update will be in 2 weeks. So yeah. Happy stitching. I hope you guys all had a wonderful holiday season, and that you're kind of getting back into your normal routine, getting back to normal a little bit after all the chaotic holiday stuff. And yeah, I will talk to you next time. Bye!